Hello everybody and welcome in today's video. In today's video we are going to do a quick update on the price of Bitcoin. In the past week I haven't been that active. I'm a little bit sick at the moment. I feel a little bit weak, but I also thought that right now is a moment I should share my opinion and my analysis right here with you guys. I'm still not completely better. Once I'm better I will be active every day again in the markets. But yeah, so that you guys know that right now I'm a little bit sick, but yeah, still want to be here for you guys. So if you appreciate that, guys, please consider dropping a thumbs up down below and bear with me as I'm making this video. So yeah, what is happening with the price of Bitcoin? Well, we are still trading in the sideways range, and so far we have not yet seen a decisive break for a rally or a decisive break for a further drop. But however, guys, we are seeing some warning signals in the price of Bitcoin, actually some weak signals I wanted to share with you, but there are a lot of conflicting signals right here, so it's very important that you don't make drastic decisions before we have any confirmation. So first of all, Bitcoin, while it is in this sideways range, it is forming lower highs. So it has a declining resistance, right? And as you can see, the previous time we got a bounce and we tried to get to that resistance, we even got rejected before touching that resistance. So that is also something worrying, showing us that there are still quite some sellers in the markets left. And if we have a look at the RSI structure, then we can see that the RSI uptrend is kind of still intact right here if we were to get a bounce, if Bitcoin continues to move within this range. However, if you would higher this this level, you could see that we are trying to break that uptrending support as well. You could make the case for that as well. So for that, I would say right now I would still be neutral in this because we haven't seen a reaction in the price, but this is definitely something to note, right? If we are coming up and testing this former support level in the momentum indicator as resistance, and we are seeing that combined with a drop of the support right here of the sideways range, then that is definitely bearish, guys, and Bitcoin could see lower levels in the Bitcoin price. So price-wise, guys, and this is most of the time one of the most important indicators, right? In the price, Bitcoin right now is slightly just looking weak. That is the situation. But the reason why I'm saying, guys, that right here, I don't think it is smart to make a drastic decision before we are seeing any confirmation is due to the fact that we are seeing a lot of conflicting signals in the Bitcoin price. So for example, right here, we got a negative funding rate, something I've been talking about quite often in my previous videos, and in previous times it's almost never that we are seeing a long period of a negative funding rate followed by a structured down move, which means that most of the traders will be profitable with that move, right? Because the majority is short right here. Normally we are not seeing that, and I want to bring one example that was in 2018, right before we got a massive dump in the Bitcoin price. Right here, Bitcoin was also consolidating, making lower highs right here, and had a horizontal support, right? Maybe like kind of something similar as we are seeing right now, also horizontal support and lower highs. But yeah, this is on a way bigger time frame than what we are seeing right now. Just something to mention, guys, like we also right here had a period of negative funding rates, right? Which could mean that could cause buying pressure on the price of Bitcoin. This was in a bear market, but here you can see that the moment before Bitcoin actually dropped, before we saw a structured move to the downside, guys, the sentiment already turned. So the sentiment turned already right here to the majority being bullish, the majority of the people being long in the markets right here. And again, the majority of the people are at the wrong side of the basically of the direction of the price. And here, this is just another nice example where we can see that. So you can make the case right here that during this time we have seen negative funding rates as well, but the moment before Bitcoin actually made that dump, we already have seen that sentiment change, which we actually normally want to see in order to get that amount of sellers or in order to get that amount of buyers, right? Depending how you look at it. But that is right now not the case. We are still seeing negative funding rates, which means that the majority right now is still being overly bearish. which for that argument actually means that Bitcoin still has quite some bias in the markets due to the fact that most sellers have already been selling. But yeah, like I said, if we basically just look at the price structure right here, then it looks like that, Bitcoin is right now just showing some weaknesses, and therefore I want everybody to consider that it is a possibility that we are going to see a decisive breakout to the downside, and that we are going to see lower levels where Bitcoin might reach $24,000, might even reach $22,000. Let's have a look at that. So first of all, guys, the sideways range support, I think the general support is might be better to look at on the daily time frame is fine. But I think the general support, the most important support right here is the round number of approximately $30,000. That is going to be the most important level. As you can see, that was the low of the wick right here as well at the beginning of the sideways range. And 30,000 has been a significant support in this price range as well. So although right now in the sideways range on the daily time frame we can see that the support is slightly higher, slightly above 31,000, I still think, guys, that 30,000 is going to be the most important level, a little bit the make or break level for Bitcoin, right? So what we want to see for the bearish scenario, guys, is that Bitcoin is going to see a drop below the $30,000 level, come back up and backtest this level as resistance, and that is the moment that we are seeing a confirmation that Bitcoin is looking bearish, and that most likely Bitcoin will go to the levels of 24,000 to 22,000. So that big of a drop is definitely possible with Bitcoin. Do I think that right now that is the likeliest scenario? Well, like I said, guys, in my opinion, there are a lot of signs right now which are actually pointing towards a bounce in the Bitcoin price. If Bitcoin is not seeing a bounce in the shorter term time frame, I do think that is quite worrying. We are seeing the weakness signals in the price, so that is something that is just a signal right now that is telling us to be very cautious right here. But if we have a look at the general signs of Bitcoin, like the negative funding rates, also when we have a look, for example, at the crypto fear and greed index, where we can see that over a extended amount of time, we have been in a fearful market, right? Then, this is also actually showing us that, it is time for Bitcoin, or there's definitely a possibility for Bitcoin to still go up from here. But like I said, price right now is showing some arguments that we have to be alert, that we have to be very cautious right now, and that we have to, I think the right way in this formation right now is to stay neutral. So don't pick one side and go and prepare for that side right now, but wait until we are seeing a clear break. And you might not get the best entry point or best exit point once that is happening, but you do play safe, which is better for the longer term time frame, right? Because you also don't want to panic sell Bitcoin right now and jumping back into Bitcoin once it is turning around and starting a rally, right? We want to have a clear confirmation. So that's why I think it's better to right now stay on the sidelines and wait till Bitcoin makes that confirmation. So the confirmations I'm watching to the downside are quite clear. It's the level of 30,000, which I think is the most important level. And of course, we want to see a decisive break. So not a 5-minute candle coming down, but we want to see, most likely a daily candle and even a structured break and a retest of 30,000, because we also could be coming down right here and test the descending support of this descending channel, get one last wick back up and continue in the uptrend. That is possible. The heat is always quite high at these consolidation moments, guys, because just a lot of emotions are being suppressed right here. There's a lot of confusion going on during this consolidation range. So it is normal once we are leaving a consolidation range that Bitcoin, for example, is making a crazy move, like fake out to one side and then going into the opposite direction. That's why it's very important to wait for that, for a decisive break. So also consider the possibility of a fake out, right? So a decisive break of 30,000 US dollars, retest as resistance and not be able to claim this level again is confirming the bearish case scenario for me. And right here, the first bullish signs we want to see in Bitcoin is breaking that declining resistance right here, not only in the price, but also in the RSI. So we want to see both signals occur if we want to start to think that we are going to see that bounce in Bitcoin and that we are going to see the next rally of Bitcoin starting. And the resistance right now is it's coming down, so it's already below 35,000. It's around 34,360, but I think one of the most important levels above us is 35,000. So I would say 35,000 and a clear break above the declining resistance in the RSI is going to be the confirmation that we are going to see most likely a rally in the Bitcoin price. And right now Bitcoin is just trading between these levels, showing weakness in the price due to the fact that we're still getting rejected by the declining resistance. But guys, I still want to emphasize the fact that maybe the price action is looking bearish, but if we have a look at the general markets right here, it would still make sense for Bitcoin to see a bounce, right? We got negative funding rates, we got a fearful market. If we go to the weekly time frame right here and I bring out the 50-week moving average, which is quite an important moving average, right? And we can see that right now Bitcoin is riding on that 50-week moving average. We have not really seen a bounce from this level. And if we have a look at historical times, then most of the time, especially after such a rally in the Bitcoin price, we are seeing a bounce or at least a reaction from this level. So I still think it is possible. I still think, guys, there are a lot of arguments. For example, also the uptrend right here in the RSI. We got a uptrend right here on the weekly RSI, which we are also almost touching. I think there's still a lot of arguments to be made that Bitcoin in the not so distant future is going to bounce from these levels rather than seeing another structured move to the levels of approximately 24 to 22,000. It is possible, but like I said, I really like in this specific situation to be neutral and to be prepared for both scenarios. Then guys, I want to have a look at something else. Let's go to the Bitcoin dominance. We are seeing something interesting right there as well. That is a rising wedge pattern. So we got a decline in the Bitcoin dominance. We have a rising wedge pattern, a uptrending support, uptrending resistance. And I think as long as we are trading within this pattern, I think we would move within this pattern, right? But if we were to break that uptrending support, that could be a good sign for altcoins, which generally, guys, is also a good sign for the general crypto markets, because the more speculation that is going on, the more trust there still is in the market. So that is something to point out as well, right? So right now we are seeing the Bitcoin dominance slightly decrease. Normally when the markets would be very bearish, we actually would want to see the Bitcoin dominance increase due to the fact that when there is uncertainty in the markets, people tend to focus their liquidity in Bitcoin due to that Bitcoin is the safest asset to trade out there. And normally when Bitcoin is doing bad, altcoins are doing even worse. And when we are seeing that not so clear right now, then that is also showing us that there is still some confidence in the market. So that is also an interesting point. Let's have a look at Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative. Then guys, when we have a look at Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative, then we can see that we are still trading above the rising channel. We have been breaking out to the support is still holding right here. We could be forming something like a descending channel right here with a declining resistance coming in and a horizontal support. Of course, if we were to break back into this channel and lose that horizontal support right here, that would be bearish for Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative, definitely, and might be bearish for the crypto markets in general as well, showing us that people are losing confidence in Ethereum right here to speculate in Ethereum, which shows us that there could be less confidence in the general crypto markets as a whole. So that is just something to take in mind. So far, I think actually still things are still looking good, right? We don't have any confirmation yet that this is all going to play out. We are just seeing the first signs. We are seeing a structure forming in these charts. So that is just something we want to consider, but we don't want to act upon until we have that confirmation. So right now, most important chart is definitely going to be Bitcoin and Bitcoin's choice of direction, right? Are we really going to break $30,000 and going to the levels of $24,000 right here? Or is it still possible that Bitcoin is going to see a drop right here and quickly recover, eventually break the declining resistance and still see that bounce, still see a rally in the Bitcoin price? I still think, guys, there are a lot of arguments for both scenarios, and that's the reason why I'm going to be neutral right here and not going to act until we have a clear confirmation. But okay, guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you all like today's analysis, guys. I'm sorry for my condition that I'm not in top form right now. So once I'm doing better, I will be uploading daily, guys. But it is possible that in the coming days I'm still going to take some rest. If you not follow me on Twitter, make sure to follow me on Twitter. It's easier for me to right now share some stuff over on my Twitter account instead of creating a whole video. So that could be something. You can follow me over on Twitter. I will drop the link down below. Then, guys, be very cautious in this market. I would definitely wait for a confirmation until you are doing something. That's sometimes very important as a trader, right? That you, with conflicting information, you just want to take a step back and just want to wait until we are getting a clear signal, a clear direction, and we can act upon once that is happening. Okay, guys, I want to wish every single one of you a awesome day today, a awesome weekend ahead, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.